So the prosecution team decided to wear red as a declaration of unity. The women have on red suits.
As you recall, the state had rested. I'm now going to ask the defense.
Murder gang, bitch. Yeah.
Those are their own words.
Just beat a murder rap. Pay my lawyer 30 for that. Name my slimes a butter law. Ain't like no credit.
That's saying my slimes are above the law.
They have all these people posted up in these pictures that took plea deals. What's the benefit of this? They all took a plea deal. And some of these people in this picture are guilty of the crimes that you have people on trial for.
Last words and shout outs before we get you out of here?
Shout out to the game. YSL for life.
What do they have to gain? Is it for something to further the group's interest? How do you know someone agrees? Look at what they do. And I argue to you that the evidence has shown that they've all knowingly and willfully agreed. Take where we started, or take the two murders. Shannon Stillwell, January 10th, 2015, murders Donovan Thomas. March 14th, 2022, Shannon Stillwell, with 3 other YSL members in both times, murders Shamel Drinks. If you have to ask yourself, did he knowingly and willfully agree to be a part of YSL criminal enterprise with 2 gang murders? That's an easy question. That's the most clear example of if someone murders a rival gang member twice, I think it's pretty clear that they knowingly and willfully agreed, regardless if they signed on the dotted line.
So they knowingly and willingly joined this gang with no initiations. People talking about they paid $25. What are you proving with this slide? Knowingly and willingly joining a gang. Fail.
Same with other crimes and acts.
The same shit that got big in Tupac.
For life.
Yeah,
Can't call that loud.
Hey, gang, you bring your pussy out here, you gonna see me. I'm at your fucking neck. Fuck anybody.
So again, what do they say? I mean, this is Kendrick and Wooney Lee. You have all the Make America Slime Again. You have Kendrick with YSL Pennant. And you have Shannon Stillwell where someone in the background says YSL for life. That's just one example. You've obviously seen and heard from multiple. But what do they say? What do they do? Are they publicly or actively or oftenly saying, yes, I'm a part of this YSL, there's an us and a them? Yes. I think it's pretty clear that they have. Shannon Stillwell, Diamante Kendricks, and some, I didn't list all the photos of people you've seen, but the criminal enterprise, visually depicted.
You didn't prove that the 2 standing here committed these unalivings. We still don't know who did that. So they didn't willingly and knowingly do anything because they didn't actually commit these unalivings, which you provided no proof that they actually did commit the unalivings. We absolutely know that members of YSL did not unalive Shamel Drinks, and there's not enough proof to say that they unalived Donovan Thomas, because I still didn't see Yak's alibi. Why y'all didn't bring in his alibi and make it seem like she was lying? Because she was telling y'all the truth. She was with him, he was with her. They stopped at a gas station in their neighborhood, which is kind of common in most neighborhoods. Even if you're a person that don't really talk to your neighbors and people around you, you go run into them often if y'all all go to the same gas station, especially every day or a regular basis. You're going to see them and you be like, hi. It happens. It happens. In a big town, in a small town, it happens. We got to get gas. It's a necessity of life. It's a necessity.
It's Taravia Hill, Act 61. She's just at her apartment complex, and this car, and if you remember, she only could recognize or ever identified Christian Eppinger, but there was 2 cars and multiple males with him. We don't know who these people are.
We don't know who these people are. That's the problem. That's actually the main problem of this whole situation. We don't know who these people are, meaning we don't know what they did, who was there, who wasn't there. That means working off of assumptions.
Overt act is, did Jeffrey Williams rent the Infiniti Q50 and act in furtherance of the conspiracy? We wrote it on a tombstone. And that's Donovan Thomas's gravestone. And when Miss Edmonds, who testified to you about recognizing that, she didn't wipe graffiti, she didn't wipe paint off that tombstone. She wiped a confession. And that confession says slapped, because that's who it's for, that's who it's from, that's who publicly has acknowledged that murder since it happened. YSL, the criminal enterprise, Razy, as they called her, text and DMs Ryan and Blaylock and says, you know, they know about Ryan but don't know about you, and allude to Mariah snitching on them. That means they see an op at a gas station and 4 YSL members in a rented vehicle murder. And Shannon Stillwell's involved in both. And it's eerily similar to Donovan Thomas's murder. It's not rocket science that he did it.
Clearly, it is rocket science that he did it, because we didn't find the same conclusion as you. And yeah, it's just got to be rocket science, because that means it's hard. That's your implication, is that rocket science means that it's hard. It's not easily obtained by the average human, which would be easy to say that if the average human is not a rocket scientist, that the average human has reasonable doubt. So we have doubts, because it's rocket science.
Death before dishonor, quite similar to the tattoo that Shannon Stillwell has, YSL. And what does he say about it? And by he, I mean Jimmy Winfrey.
We for the thing ain't too. And then another thing, we should let Amina know they got paperwork up in black and white showing, you know, that I work for the company. So now it's gonna look like street business.
Get Amina to get the paperwork to put it in black and white, because if not, it's going to look like street business. Because phone records, they move as a pack. They move as one. This is before, where Zachary, Winfrey, Sledge, McMullen, Greer, and Dolly are all in the general area of the vault. This is, when it's about to come up, is the compound, which is a little bit later. Zachary, Winfrey, McMullen, Greer, and Dolly, 142 to 304. They all have kind of similar times when they leave, similar times when they depart. This is Miss Bell. And when you talk about, you know, credibility of witnesses, you don't believe Miss Bell's testimony because you like her. Everybody wants to drink a glass of vodka with Miss Bell. She was a sweet lady. You believe it because what motive does she have to come in here and sit and say that her house was up, other than that it did? What motive does she have? What bias does she have?
I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but this lady, Miss Bell, we did believe her because we did like her. But she was forced to testify, because she didn't want to testify. She was forced to testify. So that was her motive for testifying, because she didn't want to, but y'all went and found her and forced her to testify. So that is her motive. We believe her because she is credible. But the reason behind that incident is not what y'all made it seem. That incident was based on a love triangle situationship, and not in furtherance of the gang. It was in furtherance of somebody's heart.
This is Overt Act 111. 5 years later, you have the same 2 individuals in a slime T-shirt with Martinez Arnold. Again, they're still hanging, associating. And then on the May 9th, 2022 stop, Martinez Arnold and Kendricks are at that house that has all of those firearms and the marijuana out in the open. Nothing's changed except time. Public displays of allegiance. After some of this and their viewpoint on law enforcement.
Down, I'm better take her down. Nigga, hey, do that shine shit. Hey, YSL shit. Hey, 12 shit. Hey, fuck a jail shit. Hey, drink it at the bitch.
This is that 12 shit, and that's Christian Eppinger in the Cleveland Avenue area.
If the unaliving or the attempt to unalive 12 was the motivation and that would give you credit on the street, why would that same person then have to be begging for money to try and hurt somebody else in the jail? They will be covered, right? Because they gave them credibility. I'm still trying to connect that dot. I'm not, it's not a straight line. It's not a straight line for me, unfortunately. Make it make sense. Like, make that connection happen for me.
What's Antonio Sledge's position
You
on
can lie to your kids, you lie to your mama, but you get in the courtroom and in the investigation room and tell them punk ass people the God honest motherfucking truth. Pussy ass.
OG Bentley's house? You need a common place to take guns, cars. It's not a coincidence they all just woke up and decided to go, have a pizza party at OG Bentley's, within 30 minutes of the murder of Donovan Thomas in a car rented by Jeffrey Williams. Now, fast forward, this is Shamel Drinks. Where do they go after the murder of Shamel Drinks? This is Farley, Garlington, and Jackson. The times are a little different, but the general direction of travel is to, look, here's the airport, there's the airport, there's the airport, there's 70. They go to the same location after a murder for a variety of reasons.
I can name several occasions in which multiple people are gonna meet up at the same place. One real simple one. This person was unalive. People went to the funeral home for the wake. They then went to the church the next day for the actual funeral. And then they went to the grave site to bury them. And then most of them, if they was black, because they was black, they then went to the repast location. That's 4 locations at 4 separate times that we all drove to the same place. And probably talked the whole way there. Because black folks, if you're not black, you don't understand it. But if you was black, we got to talk about so-and-so who showed up with their new boo that's number 10 this year alone. Yeah. So-and-so who showed up with their ex, who they said they was done with. Yeah. Auntie that was being messy. Whoever came in inappropriate clothes. We talking the whole way there. And then we gonna talk when we leave. What you mean? That is a common practice. We rolling up to the same place. That's common. That doesn't mean that's in furtherance of. Because I'm finding it hard to believe that I'm in furtherance of the family when I roll up to the funeral, when I roll up to the wake, when I roll up to the repasts. I'm finding it hard to. I'm finding it hard.
In 2020, coincidentally, Kendrick with slat and a snake on him standing on the same Mr. Bennett's car, right? A clear sign of disrespect. Agreement, enterprise, pattern. This is when Jaden Myrick stabbing YFN Lucci in the jail. That's YFN Lucci. He's actually stabbed, right? This isn't just some fake violence. Then, this is Shannon Stillwell, that same day.
Got me on PC with the boy. Oh, that's on PC.
And this is Eppinger and Summer.
Yeah, hey, find out what I can get for that, bro. Huh? Man, find out what I can get for that, bro. Guess what? You don't know what I'm talking about. I know what you can get for. I just told you why I'm at.
Remember that?
Okay, so what you need me to do? Find out what I can get, man. I just told you who I'm in the zone with. Who in the zone with?
He heard something about police been knock up 43. They got a 43-man indictment.
That was phone saying?
That was Toon said.
I don't know. He ain't talking that.
Yeah, he said that what he heard, but he probably just talking. Ain't no telling.
Your verdict form, when we talked about A and B, it's going to look like this. As to conspiracy to violate subsection A, we the defendant. A, acquire and maintain property knowingly.
I'm still trying to find where that property was. It's still missing, just like this Rico is. But where's this property at? Who obtained property and had property?
Willfully conspire. B is those objectives I talked about. Did you participate in the enterprise, knowing and understanding that a pattern of racketeering, which remember, check the indictment for the crimes. Do you think that they knew when these two defendants from January 10, 2015 onward, that there would be robbery, aggravated assault, intimidating witnesses, right? Y'all have heard ample evidence of all these identifiers. You've heard about Slat, Slime, the Lizard, the Snake, the Green, Copeland with the hand sign. Y'all are basically gang experts at this point, probably yourselves.
Thank you for confirmation. That right there. That is all the confirmation that we needed. Y'all are probably gang experts yourselves at this point. Right, because the people that y'all put up was not gang experts. So we are actually all, at this point, gang experts. I'm putting it on the paycheck. It's going on the resume. I need to get paid for it because they be getting paid a couple $100 per appearance. And y'all call people back multiple times. I'm absolutely a gang expert at this time. Run me my money.
He's permanent YSL lifestyle. This is Trontavious Stevens. That's Antonio Sumlin. That's Antonio Sumlin. That's the Diamante Kendrick. Slime Life, YSL. And then you have face tattoos, Javon Fleetwood. Then you have Walter Murphy's going to come up and Christian Eppinger. Public YSL tattoos on their face. Essentially a walking billboard for the enterprise. 3 or more members. Clearly there's 3 or more. RICO was 2 or more. Gang, you need at least 3. So you can't have a gang of 2 under the law.
I guess these weapons are supposed to be the property that they have, but these are not of much value. And the first wave and the second wave of investigators, y'all should have not done that. That looks real bad on y'all part. Because a 10-year time span of y'all investigating these people.
This is going to be Christian Eppinger coming up here. Rise and Slime, ESPN. And then I didn't clip it in there, but there's the song that Shannon Stillwell himself made where he literally says, every slime plays nasty. So these are common phrases, identifiers, and by nasty, they mean violence.
Sir, what? Nasty means violence? Baby, nasty mean nasty. Not nasty mean violence. It's a wrap.
There's no conclusion but guilty on count 1 RICO. And I argue it's both subsection A and B, but that's for y'all to decide.